This is what I discovered in rehab. Two things, okay? When I was 17, I ended up in prison and eventually released to a rehab center that saved my life. And it was in that program, after 11 months of therapy, of working on myself and rebuilding the relationship with my family, that I discovered computer programming. I was helping out Rick, the maintenance guy, clean out this cabin. And in the cabin, this old church camp, they had this yellow book on Java programming and an old 486 computer. And I lit it up. And I got the computer to say, "Hello world." And I thought I was a genius. But here's the crazy part. Even though I later in the years realized I wasn't that great, I'm not like a 10x programmer, it didn't matter to me because I became obsessed. My dad would always say, like, if you could just find something you're passionate about that isn't illegal, I think you'd do okay. It became my new addiction. Entrepreneurship became the ultimate personal development program because the more I wanted to grow, the more I had to develop myself. It is a beautiful thing because the more you grow, the more you've got to give, the more you'll go. And that's why entrepreneurship is the ultimate personal development program. So I want to teach you the 3 reasons why I believe this. Number 1 is struggles show the path. You know, it doesn't matter where you're at in your entrepreneurial career. You could just be starting with an idea and wanting to push it forward, or you could be doing 9 figures in your business. But you will be 100% running into friction, running into challenges, having to rebuild your marketing strategy, having to reset your whole sales team. Whatever the challenge is, business, entrepreneurship is going to show you where the opportunity lies through that struggle. You know, one of my mentors that I worked with personally is this guy named Peter Crone. I first heard him on a podcast with Ed Milet. And in that podcast, he has this great quote that says,
"Life will present you with people and circumstances to reveal where you're not free."
And I love that because working with him allowed me to go really deep on areas of my life that I had a lot of friction, I had a lot of trauma around. And every time these scenarios showed up, my default response didn't produce the ideal outcome. And when you learn this, when you see yourself react, when it's just based on a story and a negative code, he calls it, that is not useful. And if anything, it creates more harm in your world, makes life harder, and you are able to see it for what it is and to rewrite the story, to rewrite the code, it'll change the game. And the only way that I know how to do this is through business, is wanting to create more, wanting to give more, seeing your ego show up, but also realize through yourself and looking at your ego that that's not who I am. That's at my core, that's not what I'm about. And understanding that the more you grow, the more you're going to discover about who you are. And it just creates this beautiful process. Number 2 is a forcing function for skills. As you get into business, you'll realize that there's things that you just don't know how to do. It can be as simple as writing a blog post that's engaging, that gets clicks and customers, to having a sales call. You know, these are skills that people aren't born with. They're things that you have to learn and develop. And what I love about it is that business creates a forcing function for you to identify these skills, to be able to learn them and then deploy them in your business to continue to grow. You know, one of the strategies I teach is the buyback principle, is understanding how to buy back your time and then reinvest it. Okay. And there's 3 ways to reinvest it: in skills, mindset, and relationships. But the skills one is usually where a lot of people in the early days of the business will spend time, because there's so many different aspects of a business, from operations to finance to marketing to sales to customer success to product development to procurement. It's endless, the places you can go and look and learn in your business, and forcing yourself through business to identify the skills and every year decide, okay, these are the 2 or 3 skills I want to get really good at, and put in the reps and do the volume and get the practice of developing this output of efficiency and leverage with your time. It's why the buyback principle is so powerful, because by doing that, by not hiring people to grow your business, but hiring people to buy back your time, you're creating the space in your calendar to invest in new skills. And those new skills will have a huge ROI that will then show up in your business and unlock the next level for you. Number 3, the more you grow, the more you got to go. Here's the reality, is business will be this never-ending growth vehicle if you allow it to be. If you choose to let it do its work on you, instead of being frustrated by all the lack and the misfires and the failed projects and the people that disappointed you or whatever it is, if you allow the business to do its work on you and you show up and you grow because no business will grow past the growth of the leader, the CEO. But if you allow yourself to grow into that, it creates this beautiful relationship where the more you grow, the bigger the business, the more resources you'll have to invest in yourself. So check it out. You're literally showing up, doing the work, growing your business, and then you get more revenue, more resources, more profit to invest in you to do more, to grow more. It is the coolest thing ever. That's why a lot of people, most of their wealth is created between the ages of 40 and 60 in their life. It's not in the early days, because in the early days, you're trying to figure it out. You're trying to develop the skill set, trying to understand how the whole system works. But if you continue to show up from a place of humble, hungry, and willingness to do the work, you will slowly start to build momentum, and you will see yourself unlock resources to be able to pour back into you to become more so you can create more. And if it sounds like some weird exponential math equation, it's because it is. It's literally compounding growth of your mind, your skills, your beliefs, your relationships, so that you can do more in your business. And that's why I believe it's one of the most powerful aspects of building a business. So that's why I'm so excited for business and entrepreneurship to be your driver, your vehicle for personal development, so that you have more to give, you have more to get. You can invest in yourself. The bigger the business gets, the more resources you'll have, and you get to set the container for everybody else in your team to grow along with you. That is my challenge to you today, is I want you, and this is why I always say it, to build a bigger life and a bigger business. And I'll see you next Monday.